Shazam, Fury
Shazam.
of the Gods.
Yeah.
I went and saw it Sunday and then realized earlier today I remembered nothing about the movie.
Yeah. It is kind of that movie. I even had to go back and look at like recaps and notes, and I only watched one recap, but I was like, God,
And you're like,
what was that
oh
movie
yeah,
about? And I saw
I
it on
don't
Friday.
remember any
So
of
it's
this.
been less than a week and it's that forgettable of a movie.
But it
Now,
wasn't
is it
bad.
a bad movie?
No,
No.
no.
By
In
no
fact,
means is it a bad movie. Is it a
I
forgettable movie? Yeah, kind of.
well, so was the first one. Is the first one a bad movie? No. Is it a forgettable movie? Absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of gotten the early 2000s comic book movie issue of there's
Mm,
nothing leading up to it. There's nothing stemming off of it. It's just its movie. It is what it is. There you go.
yeah, this is what you
Think about
get.
like pretty much every movie back in the early 2000s, the exception of maybe Spider-Man.
Well, it's
They're all kind of
Spider-Man,
forgettable.
X-Men, uh,
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. It very much had Fantastic Four vibes.
Yeah.
Now, not the style of, the director and everything, but very campy, cliche, goofy. Nothing
Yeah.
was overly serious, even though you had a villain doing stuff. Um, it very much felt like that the whole time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. Like I'm sitting there watching it because it did not do well at the box office. No one went and saw
No.
it. The critics took a dump on it. Everyone gave it like, I think the viewers on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 54.
So the Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 52. The audience actually gave it an 87,
I
which
think
is fair.
87's,
Like,
I think it's a little high, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, even leaving the theater, me and Piper were like, that was a good movie. There was nothing bad about that movie. Now, I do have some qualms with the movie, and I think some of my qualms are about Warner Brothers as much as they are about the movie.
yeah.
But we'll get to that. But yeah, walking out of the theater, I was like, that was a good solid movie. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not. Am I gonna pay to rent it? Nah, probably not. Am I
No,
gonna
but
watch it more than like 5 times the rest of my life? Nah, probably not.
am
But it
I
was
gonna
good. It
give it
was
another?
worth the one watch.
Yeah, but am I gonna give another rundown when it hits HBO Max on like a Saturday where I got nothing going on? Just
Yeah.
scroll through my phone most of the time, have a couple drinks, and just chill.
Throw it on the background while you're cleaning.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do with that movie.
It is that kind of movie.
That is, will I watch it more times than I've watched Eternals? Yes.
Yeah.
It is
Which
not
for me,
Eternals bad.
Eternals is at I think 2.5 right now.
I've got two.
Three. Maybe three.
I've watched it twice. I watched it once. I was like, that was terrible. And then I watched it again. I was like, that was more terrible than I remembering it being. I'm good.
That good. Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually never talked about it because it's one of the things that we missed. Ant-Man Quantumania, same exact movie. Like campy, cliche, even though there's weight to it, or even though there's bad guys and stuff happening, there's no weight to it really.
Yeah.
And will I watch it again? Yes. Will I watch it again multiple times? Probably not.
Yeah. I think the only thing that Ant-Man carries more weight with in this is there's lead up to Ant-Man 3 and there's stuff that's going to come out of Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
Whereas nothing led up to this. It was almost like they finished Shazam 1 and then audiences loved it. They're like, "Oh, that was a really good movie." And they're like, "Oh, it was? Here's Shazam 2." Like there was no like I don't think this was like a thought leading up to like, yeah, we're gonna plan the Shazam 1, 2, and 3, and this is how they're gonna go. And this was the plan for Shazam 2.
But at no point did either one feel serious.
Yeah. Now them are
Like,
serious, like you said, campy, fun, lighthearted.
mhm.
You got a little bit darker with a villain in Ant-Man than you did in Shazam. Just because I feel like the villains were just very C tier, D tier villains in
Even
Shazam.
when you have like if you didn't have Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu really driving those characters, it would have been
Could
terrible.
have been way worse. Yeah.
because it's those two,
At
it
least when you
just
see him on the
naturally,
screen, it's like, hey,
yeah, it naturally gives them clout
yeah,
and gives them like gives the characters reputation, even though those characters were so sea level and inconsequential.
yeah,
And but because it's Helen Mirren, you're like, okay, that's fine, I buy it. She's a threat.
yeah. I did really enjoy all of the different tropes to this movie. Like, I have not watched a lot of the DC animated movies, so
Hmm.
I don't have that much experience with Shazam outside of the first movie, which I'm sure is the same case for a lot of people. So I didn't know Shazam was an acronym. I didn't know it
Yeah.
stood for something. And so when they like delved down that list, I was like, oh, that makes sense. This is kind of cool.
Well, because
Uh,
Shazam wasn't originally his name.
no, and that was another thing I learned this week.
Really?
Yeah, that
Okay.
his name originally was Captain Marvel, right?
Mhm. They had the rights and ownership of it. They it lapsed. Marvel came in and bought it, and they're like, "Well, shit." And that's when they went with Captain Marvel, and then became Captain Marvel and Carol Danvers, and then ultimately we were blessed with the movie.
Yeah.
And
Do you know how
uh,
long he was Captain Marvel until 2012 is when
like
he got
Shazam,
changed to Shazam.
yeah, Shazam is new.
New. Yeah,
Yeah,
fresh out the oven. We just got it.
yeah. Like again, Captain Marvel, what they had in the Marvel comics, it was Marvel. And the reason it was Marvel was because DC owned it.
Yeah.
And he would yell Shazam because of the acronym. He's yelling all the powers that he's
So that
inheriting.
he could become Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury.
Hmm.
But he was not Shazam. And that's why the
Yes.
entire movie he's trying to figure out what's my name? Like, what's my actual name?
Yeah.
And he even throws out Captain Marvel.
Yeah. That was funny that they were able to do that.
Yeah.
And that was in the group because he didn't throw it out. It was the random people behind him.
The post it was at the post credit scene he was doing that in.
No, the post credit scene was when he was trying to give them
Justice League.
new Justice League names. He's
Yeah.
like, that's really weird that you have two superhero groups, both
And
with
I
the
mean,
name
they even
Justice.
use the Avengers there. He's like, Avengers, I kind of like that.
Yeah, but it was when he was in the city and there was like six people behind him and they were yelling out different names. And one of them said Captain Marvel. And I think the one that said Captain Marvel was actually the guy. He played Billy Batson in the old TV show.
Ah,
It's a
one of
little
those,
Easter
like,
egg cameo because
yeah,
he's wearing the red and yellow shirt that he wore as a kid. So
makes sense.
yeah, but I was kind of
Um,
surprised that they were able to. There was a lot of Easter eggs in this.
well, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Deadpool reference Batman? And he even
Yeah,
says you're pretty dark
I'm
if you're not
Batman.
from the DC universe.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
so
it's just them like, we'll throw one back at you.
fair game.
Yeah,
Keep doing it because those are some of the best parts of these movies.
yeah, because
Who
eventually
are you?
one day, like in 2056, they're gonna merge.
Yeah, I mean, we might be dead or the entire planet's going to blow up from World War III by that point, but I am in. I wish I could still find it, but there's a few well-edited crossovers, Marvel versus DC, where they take all the live action
YouTube
movies and
crossovers.
shows and just have it shown like they're fighting each other. Not bad.
I'd be in. I'm in for a
Not
live action.
not bad at all. But anyway, back on the movie. Keep rolling on little funny little Easter eggs. Freddy's name in the comics was Captain Marvel Jr. He named Shazam Captain Every Power Jr. That was
Yeah,
the tie-in there.
nice.
There's like deep cuts that no one's gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
That and I
Hey,
didn't realize this. They gave you all the heaping piles of foreshadowing in the first act of the movie. The electric ball that blows up from his dream, the Skittles in the pockets.
yeah.
He's working on a diorama of unicorns in a giant heated battle against monsters in construction paper at the very beginning. They gave you the whole movie in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't put all those together. We did put together the Skittles. Like the Skittles came up like 6 different times throughout the movie. It led to the best scene dialogue of the entire movie.
Him being scared of unicorns was, I think, my favorite part of it.
Yeah,
It's like we need to find
that
him. This is a terrible idea.
yeah, and taste the rainbow, motherfuckers,
My
from the
absolute favorite
little
part.
girl.
That was
That was a laugh out loud moment for me.
yes, that one got me too. It was perfect.
But yeah, I mean, as far as likes go, um, Jack Dylan Grazer, he
Hmm.
stole the first movie. He stole the second movie. He is like that supporting actor that just he's kind of hard to outshine Shazam because he was in 90% of the shots.
Yeah,
But anytime Jack Dylan Grazer or his Adrian Brody, I think is his name,
I love Adrian Brody.
anytime they're on the screen, they're the comedic
Take over.
relief. They're the best part of
Did
their
you
scenes.
watch it, the first one?
No, but I heard he's in it.
Okay, so first things first, I'm a giant baby when it comes to scary movies. That movie scared the shit out of me. Bill Skarsgård
Yeah.
as Pennywise is fucking
The
horrifying.
probably the biggest reason why I'm not running to the movie right now to go watch it. Yeah, I don't want to get scared.
Horrifying. With that said, he steals the movie. Well, Pennywise steals the movie. He is the greatest comedic relief and a driving force in that movie. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
He is worth seeing. Bill Skarsgård, as terrifying as he is as Pennywise, is worth a watch. But seeing him in there and the shit he says, awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Excited for the rest of his career coming up,
same.
whatever he ends up in.
Yes, very much same. Oh, and Finn Wolfhard or whatever his name is from Stranger Things, he's also in it.
He's in this movie?
It,
Oh, he's in
yeah.
it.
So
Gotcha.
watch them go back and forth.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're fantastic. So yes, continue. Him, Adrian Brody.
Yeah. So that was probably the best part of the movie. And it is kind of also my knock, one of my knocks. Um, when it's Jack Dylan Grazer or Adrian Brody, it's the same character, right? And then I think the oldest sister, she is her, no matter if she's the kid or the adult. So
Yes,
all of
she
the
finally aged into just making her.
yeah, being able to
Yeah.
just flip. All the other kids don't have a whole lot of screen time, but they are the same person, whether they're a kid or an adult. The only one that's not is Shazam. Whenever it's Billy Batson or Shazam, I feel like they're two very distinctly different people.
Is it
I
just
listened to a
me
couple
or
podcasts.
does Billy Batson feel more mature than
Then
Shazam?
Shazam, yeah,
Like
like
when he's Billy
Billy
Batson,
grew
he's
up, but Shazam didn't.
exactly like, and I noticed this in the first movie. Like Billy's experienced some, rough times as a kid. He's kind of sullen, a little bit more
He's a
mature, a little
little
more
more
pissed
mature
off.
for his age,
But the
and then
second he
turns
becomes
into Shazam, and
Shazam,
he's like an 8-year-old.
yeah, he's an 8 year old in a candy shop. I get that's kind of the point, but I feel like there's no, to what you're saying, there's no direct line there. It's like he becomes a different person where he
Yeah,
becomes insecure, needy, stupid, ridiculous, but he's
over the
so
top.
much calmer when he's just Billy.
Yeah, and I feel like Billy from Shazam 1 to Shazam 2 grew because I think Shazam 2 he's like was supposed to be 17, he's supposed to be aging out soon.
Uh-huh.
So he's almost 18 years old, which I get as still a kid and you
Yeah.
still act like a kid, but you don't act like a child.
You don't
Shazam
act
in
like a
Shazam
12 year
1 and
old.
Shazam 2 acts like a child.
Yeah, he acts like a 12-year-old
So
all the time.
yeah, that's one of my knocks. And I listened to a podcast of Shazam 1 this week and that was their gripe. And they're like, "Oh, hopefully he's kind of changed and grown up for Shazam too." And then boom, I was like, "Gonna be disappointed."
Yeah, they doubled down on him being goofy and immature
Yeah.
instead of going the other way.
Let's see. My only other qualms, and again, I think, yep, they're all Warner Brothers related. So I don't know if we want to make that jump already.
I mean, we can what else is there to hit on the movie? Like you have the cameo where Wonder Woman actually shows up.
Yep.
Have the cameo of
And they teased like you weren't gonna get it because they had an entire
Mhm.
cameo of the date, but all you
Yeah,
saw was her from behind. So it's like it's either they were just teasing and they were gonna give it to you eventually, or they weren't sure if they were actually gonna get her. So they were gonna try to Shazam post credit scene us
it
again.
it could have been both. I think it was a small reference to the first one where they had
Yeah.
Superman show up, but Henry Cavill wasn't around.
Yeah.
So,
So they couldn't get him for 10 seconds.
well, you got him for
Even
10
get
seconds in
some
Black
like,
Adam.
yeah.
How good that did.
Um, I liked the dragon. The dragon
Dragon's
was
awesome.
cool. There was some qualms with some of the dragon CGI about like his him crushing things, and it like barely like dented a van. I'm like, it's like 8,000 ton dragon. It barely left a dent in this truck that it landed on. I did like the other. It was cool to see that it was all like mythological. The whole movie that was kind of like a fun trope for me. When it had the dragon, it had I had to look them up. There was Manticore, Cyclops, Harpies, Minotaurs. You had a dragon, and then the unicorns come. And I like that the unicorns. What's his name? The wizard that was in it. He's like, they're not what you think they are. You're not
Yeah,
gonna like them.
they're not these cute little stuffed animals you
Yeah.
got. They're the
And then they end
worst,
up
most
riding him into
horrifying things.
battle. That's when you get the taste the rainbow scene, and then it just immediately like impales a cyclops. I'm like,
Hmm.
this is pretty awesome. So like,
Yeah.
if there are reasons to watch this movie, the bridge scene in the beginning is cool, and then
Hmm.
at the very end you get like a giant mythological battle. You get
Hmm.
superheroes, you get magic, even though there's not a whole lot of magic in the movie for it being about magicians and wizards and
Not really. A lot
gods
of
and
lightning.
goddesses. Like everyone shoots a little bit of thunder from their fingers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Careful. It sparkles.
sparkles. But you get like a cool like mythological battle. So you get there's unicorn stabbing minotaurs and there's harpies flying around. I'm like, you don't see that in like Ant-Man or I mean, I don't think there's any other movie we've had. I guess DC kind of focuses more on gods, but
Yeah, they're a little more. I don't want to say they're a little more like fantastic and sci-fi because Quantum Mania was
yeah, it was
pretty fantastic
the
and
entire movie
sci-fi.
was sci-fi.
Yeah, that one stretched quite a bit, but yeah. And like I said, there's a million and a half uh freaking Easter eggs that you could reference in this, from the name of the school to what people were wearing to shit in the background. You saw the Annabelle doll that was in the trailer. That's because
Yeah,
the director directed Annabelle, same guy. That's where that
yeah.
plays. Uh, let's go ahead and jump into the qualms of complaining about Warner Brothers, because this movie is so incredibly cemented into the Snyderverse realm of everything. Yet they show that they're going to drag it forward. You have the Peacemaker crew, James Gunn's wife showing up, recruiting him, looking pissed off. How do you bring this forward if everyone's cemented in on the Snyderverse side?
It does help that they haven't shown Henry Cavill's face in the Shazam movies.
True.
They have shown Gal Gadot's
So let's
technically
tease that
now.
out a little bit. Ben Affleck has not been shown specifically. His
Right.
Batarang has, but he hasn't been shown.
Correct. Henry
Henry
Cavill has
Cavill.
not been shown.
Now, Jason Momoa as Aquaman was in
In the same
Peacemaker.
universe, has
Yes, he was in Peacemaker, and Ezra Miller too.
that was Ezra Miller, yeah.
Both in Peacemaker, which connects with James Gunn's wife and joining
But
that
now
group.
she's connected through the post-credit scene of Shazam 2.
Correct. And
And now
then,
technically you have Gal Gadot because Gal Gadot is at the end of Shazam 2, which
but was that a pre or post situation? Like, there's no commitment to Gal Gadot right now on what's coming forth. There's a Wonder Woman movie coming,
yeah.
but does it have anything to do with Gal Gadot? Hmm. How
Is it
does
a
Mr.
movie or a
Mind?
show? The
I
Wonder
thought it was,
Woman, it didn't like her people.
It's about Themyscira. You're right.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know if she would have been in that anyways, but now you have connected her. So you're going to have just two completely different Wonder Woman. I mean, I guess recasting is a thing, anyways.
how many
I mean,
Batmans
they're
do they
pretty
have now?
major characters to recast, but that'd be like recasting Iron Man from 2 to 3.
I mean, you're casting the Hulk from the movie to Avengers,
True.
mostly because they're like, "Hey, Edward Norton, you're not going to rewrite everything you're in. We're not going to pay you this much to do
You
it."
don't get to produce and
So,
direct and get to be the. Didn't he want to be like produce and direct Avengers or part of it?
he wanted to
Yeah.
be an executive producer on Avengers. So, like, no,
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it does happen. I feel like if they weren't going to go forward with Gal Gadot, they could have easily written out the end of that movie.
100%. It was a cheap way to bring him back, which is
Yeah.
another little point I wanted to make with this movie and Ant-Man being impressively
Pretty
similar.
similar to the end.
And especially
Yeah.
at the end, you're like, you have a perfect opportunity for sacrifice here that could
Mm-hmm.
really play, and it could play with him, especially, with the universe doing what it is. He dies, everyone goes about their business, and like, oh, okay, there's some weight here. Zachary
Yeah.
Levi died, and then he jumped
Yeah.
out. They yell zombie, and he tries to hit on Gal Gadot, which who wouldn't?
Yeah. That's fair.
But
Um, yeah. They both had that moment where you thought they could have been dead. Because there was a moment when I was watching Ant Man that when he came back and Jonathan Majors just whooping his ass, I'm like, Ant Man's about to die.
yeah,
That's
Jonathan
what's
Mayer
happening
just
right now.
over there dropping some fucking Creed
Creed
3
3.
combinations.
Yeah. So I'm like, I almost felt like this is awesome. One of them's actually about to die. Like, so when Iron Man died, obviously it was a huge deal and it was this big process. This could have been just, I just put down one of your Avengers. If Jonathan Majors, if Kang's gonna become our next big bad, which we are segueing to Marvel real quick, like we usually do.
Seems
If he's gonna be the
unavoidable.
next big bad, you can't have him get beat by a couple ants. So, and I understand it was bigger than that, but that's the way it read. But for him just be whooping up on Ant Man, I mean, Ant Man got a couple licks in, but for him to
Yeah.
be whooping up on him, I'm like, he's about to just put this man down. And it was gonna carry some weight, and that weight is gonna be what carries us into Phase 5. But no,
Yeah, no, I think to rewrite that movie, I think that movie would have been perceived way better. Is because remember, he sacrificed himself to stay in the quantum realm to stop Kang so the rest could get out. And if in that sacrifice, Kang shows up and just crushes him, and then the rest of the movie goes on like, oh shit, he's gone. What happened? You see that Kang is still stuck there, but he's a threat. He's here to kill people, and you can't have Kang the Conqueror, who, like you said, gets beat up by an ant farm and all that. So to tie it back into the movie we're trying to review, the difference here is that unless you're setting up Mr. Mind as your villain, which would not surprise me, you're talking about a guy that made Starro the villain of Suicide Squad and directed the movie Slither. That dude loves weird worm-like creatures. I mean, watch Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a few of them.
yep,
So, Caterpillar trying to overtake some magical land, become the most magical and powerful being, sounds right up James Gunn's alley. But he wasn't in the movie. He was in the post-credit scene, just a little bit.
yeah.
So, is everything going to spin off of that? Is Shazam going to have a major role in that? Are you needing to rebuild the Justice Avenger whatever group for DC?
And are we even getting a Justice League, or are we getting Justice Society instead?
And I mean, you're getting new Batman with Brave and Bold.
Yeah. And I even looked up because I'm not as familiar with DC. So I'm like, who is in the Justice Society? Everybody.
Yeah, everyone at different times.
At one point or another, everybody's in it. So it's like it is Justice League, just a different name. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's his way of saying this is different. And
it
I mean, they
could.
poke fun at it with this because he's like, this is really confusing. You could call something completely different. These are way too close together.
That was, I felt very meta to throw that out there of just like, no one knows what we're doing over here. Why would you guys choose this stuff? It's so hard to follow. No one
Yeah,
goes this deep.
because in real life, this is really confusing and no one's following this whatsoever.
Nope.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
very
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 difficult.
fourth wall.
Um, if you're going to grade it, whiskey grade, how would you whiskey grade Shazam? Furry
So I
of the
thought
gods.
about this. Give me 2 seconds to pull up because I think I know the name of it, and I don't. Hang on.
Story of my
Um,
life.
I'm gonna describe the bottle, and you're gonna be able to think of the name. It's
Okay.
in like a green bottle, wine bottle shape. Noah's Mill. I'm gonna give it a Noah's Mill ranking. It was really good, really fun. You enjoyed it while it was there, and then you never bought it again.
You never really even thought about it again. And then
Never really
you
thought about
see it.
it. It'll show up at a bar. You're like, hey, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that was good. I'm gonna go with the stuff that I always get and like all the time.
Yeah.
Because that
Like
wasn't that.
if you did have to drink it or watch it, you wouldn't be disappointed. You wouldn't be a huge letdown. But you know, there's other better things out there.
It's one of those drinks that I'm just gonna pour this and kind of sip it while I'm running around the house. And at the here in like 2.5 hours, when I realize I haven't finished it and it's not really good anymore.
It's already
I don't
started to
mind,
cloud a little bit.
yeah, I don't mind pouring it out. Like
Yeah.
it's good and I'm enjoying it and I'm choosing to pour it, but I don't mind pouring it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this movie on. I'm gonna walk around the house a little bit, clean and do whatever. And here in about 2 hours, if I'm not done with it, I'm gonna turn it off.
Yeah. I'm going to stop and watch it when the unicorns show up. And then I'm going to go about my day.
Yeah. You're gonna catch those few glimpses. You might even hear one of the one-liners here and there that are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like one of the better one-liners was when she tells him she's 6,000 years old and then kisses him. And they're like, this feels a little inappropriate now.
Yeah. 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 No, I mean, there's a lot of good to this movie. If I had to watch it again, it's a daytime movie. It's not a nighttime movie. Nighttime movie is like you put on a movie, you're sitting there, you're watching it. Daytime movie, doing things while you're watching it.
Yeah, like you're committing to this shit.
It's forever a daytime movie, which I feel like a lot of those superhero movies are. Most of them
Speaking
came
of
out in the early
daytime
2000s.
movies, John Wick, Chapter 4.
Comes out this tomorrow.
Yes, technically comes out, hits as of this recording, hits Thursday, comes out weekend of Friday, the 24th.
Yep.
You gonna go see it?
Yeah, I already got my tickets for Friday.
Okay.
We watched John Wick 3 last night.
I'm probably gonna go see it Saturday during the day. Kid has a birthday party to go to, so I'm just like, oh, can I go watch a movie by myself? That'd be amazing.
We're going to see John Wick 4 Friday and Dungeons and Dragons on Sunday.
Dungeons and Dragons already out?
Comes out this weekend also.
Oh, sucks for
I don't
it.
know if that was a smart decision on their end, but
I don't know. I want to watch both, so I don't
yeah.
care.
And then next Friday, Super Mario. So we got
Definitely watching
four big
that.
movies in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I need to get tickets to go see that because I'll take the kid to
Yeah,
go
we got our
watch
tickets. The theater was already it was moving.
for
You can
Mario.
already get, and I think I did slightly intoxicatedly get my tickets to Fast X. You can already get those, and they're in like May.
Hard pass.
Oh, I'm watching it opening
No,
night.
no, not a
Yeah.
chance.
Gotta
Not
see
even a
how
little bit.
the what is the 10? No, eight's an octagon. What's 10? How that elegy ends.
Octilogy. Uh,
That's 8.
what's 9?
Someone get on Twitter and tweet us what 10 is, and we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, what's a 10-sided figure? It's not a hexagon. It's not a heptagon. It's not an octagon.
It's a decagon. The deculogy.
It is a decagon because I knew 12 was dodecagon. So
Oh, there you go. Polygon with 10 sides, 10 verticals, and 10 angles. The decagon.
in 10 terrible movies.
10 terrible movies. Ah, the first one's okay.
Have
9
you
terrible movies.
have you watched it recently?
Yeah,
The
no, it doesn't hold up. And the fact that they're stealing TV
DVD players?
VCR combos out of the back of an 18 wheeler shows you how long this dickology has been going.
It was 1000% a dickology.
It is a dickology.
Oh my god. Yeah. I that's all you. To make the jump, which Fast and Furious is canon in the DCU because he brings it up in Shazam, Gal Gadot, Helen Mirren, now Jason Momoa, and one other person I saw and I forgot who it was, are all in
All in
the
it.
Fast movies.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that was the other connection I saw in a video was Freddie was wearing a Iron Giant t-shirt who in the movie calls himself Superman, was voiced by Vin
Vin
Diesel,
Diesel.
who is obviously in Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
which really means one thing: lazy writing and hiring.
Or Fast and the Furious is DC canon.
Also true. That is accurate.
Yeah.
So, just like Star Wars is
Marvel.
MCU canon,
Yeah.
because he brings up Star Wars, and even I think it's in Far From Home when Tom Holland meets Nick Fury. He's like, "Hey, you look like that guy from that Star Wars movie."
Yeah. There's that. And apparently there's a lot of tie-ins with you getting your arm cut off or your hand.
Yeah.
So they tie that in with Marvel too.
All right. So Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods.
Fury of the Gods.
We give it a solid C plus.
I was gonna say B minus
Yeah.
because
right in the
I don't have any. This is bad. If I feel like I'm giving it a C, it's bad.
active bad.
Yeah. B minus means it's not bad. It's just I'm not gonna watch it a lot.
Yeah, it's not hooked in as a great, but
And
I
I feel
didn't
like
mind it.
multiple times in this podcast I've said it was good. So I think that's where I'm landing. It's barely a B minus, but it's a B minus.
I'll agree with that. All right. Quick knockout. I think it's about 30 minutes. I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of shit on here.
Yeah, that's
Call it a
quick.
day.
Got through it. Ins, outs, threw in some Marvel.
Yeah,
Decagon.
I'm probably a Dicagon will always get
A
thrown in
Dickology.
somewhere. A Dickology. Uh I'm hoping to get this done and on to the interwebs by Friday, Saturday sometime. So
Yeah,
till next time.
that'll work, sir.
Drink whiskey.
Hail Hydra.